I want to get serious with you here because as more and more of the WikiLeaks Hillary Clinton emails come out, and Aaron and I talked last hour about what I call the unholy alliance between old school traditional politicians of both parties, big media, and big business. And I've said the fix is in. And as we find out more and more, we see just how much the fix is in and how they've targeted their enemies. And their enemies are us. And by us this time, I mean Catholics, Southerners. We're not going to get into the Hillary email that talked about needy Latinos. Let's talk about for a second or two Catholics and evangelicals being mocked by the Clinton campaign.
Well, they are, and it's in writing now. We've seen the evidence as the emails are leaked. You can see how they really feel about, good God-fearing Americans. I mean, when Obama was running, he famously said, "Oh yeah, those down there, those folks, they cling to their guns and religion," and we took offense to it, as we should. But Hillary may be even worse, and they just openly disparage her emails with Podesta and some of the other campaign staffers. It's very clear they have a real disdain for people of faith. I mean, they think of conservative Catholics and evangelicals as being small-minded people. They think of us as just really being sort of ignorant, and that the government knows better what we need than we do, and so that's why the government should be in charge of everything.
Mike, there was specifically in one of the John Podesta, that's a Clinton aide, in one of the Podesta emails, laying out a plan to infiltrate the Catholic Church in America to foment revolution within the church.
Oh, yes. Well, and Hillary has openly said that Bible-believing Christians really have to change their views so they can get along with these new social programs.
Wow.
Okay, pardon me.
Wow.
Aaron is looking at me, jaw dropped, agog, as she is sort of hearing this for the first time. Tell him what you're thinking.
I'm scared, Mike. I don't know if I want to move to Canada or Mexico at this point.
Listen. It's not a time for panic and fear, although everybody feels that emotion. Ronald Reagan said one time, "Never give up on the American spirit. It has triumphed too often in our lifetimes to stop believing in it now." And he said that in the mid-'80s. It applies now more than it ever has. Look, we have the greatest, most exceptional, most successful, most free nation in the history of mankind. There's a reason for it. We can't give up on that. We just have to keep fighting for our Constitution and these core principles and standing for truth and exposing this kind of stuff, which is why I'm so grateful the emails are being leaked like this, because we're getting a glimpse into what these people really believe. You can't take this stuff for granted anymore. You have to know that there are elements in leadership in Washington.
You talk a lot about morals, core principles, and all that. We've got to talk about Donald Trump. The other shoe keeps dropping every day. Mike, what are we to do? We have two morally bankrupt people, one of whom will be our next president.
We do. I don't think we have any choice in the matter. I think you have to support Donald Trump, and let me tell you why. This election cycle is about more than personalities, and every candidate is flawed. Okay, we know that. We've never voted for a sinless candidate. We never will. Every candidate is flawed, but it's not about personalities. This election cycle is about principles and party platforms. And if you compare the two party platforms, and I encourage everybody to do that, just go online, do a little research. The Republican Party platform stands for the Constitution, for our fundamental freedoms. It stands for the sanctity of human life, traditional values, morality, and all the rest. And the Democrat Party platform has gone so far left that people in this state wouldn't recognize it anymore. This is not your father's Democrat Party. I mean, it's gone full-fledged Bernie Sanders socialism. They're for radical abortion rights on demand. They're for, all of these, crazy social experiments with gender identity and all the rest. They're trying to move the country so far left that we won't recognize it anymore, and that's why this election cycle matters. I tell people it comes down to two words: the Supreme Court. The next president appoints at least two, maybe as many as 4 or 5 justices to the court. And, my friends, that is the longest-lasting legacy of any president. Hillary Clinton will finish off the country and what's left of the Constitution.
Mike, this election is going to come down to one word, and I hope the Republicans can get a handle of it. It's women. What are they going to do behind that curtain. And I'm one of those that I struggle with it every day.
You know, Mike, let me throw this in, then you can respond. I just find the irony of this as we get closer to Election Day, as the Democrats are telling Americans they shouldn't vote for Donald Trump, and they're portraying him more and more every day like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's ironic, isn't it? I mean, it is, and these are the choices that we have. But I'm going to tell you, Aaron, you know, the female vote, the women vote is critical. But my wife, we talk about this all the time. You know what most women are most deeply concerned about is the future of their children, right? Their grandchildren. They're concerned about the security of our country. The choices here are so clear. We protect our nation by having a strong military. We protect our children's future by allowing the free market to thrive, the economy to grow, and for jobs and opportunity to be available for the next generation. The American dream has always been within our grasp, but right now it's being pulled further and further away. And we're deeply concerned about the future that our children are going to inherit. If we don't fight right now and stand on constitutional principle, we're going to lose the whole thing. That is ultimately what ought to drive our vote in this election cycle. It has to, because the stakes are too high to do anything else.